been talking about this stuff here and there. I think I'm still a little bit sick. It's not as bad as it used to be, though. Just a little bit. It's nothing like anything like it was before. Jeez, still kind of hanging in there. Huh? Priscilla's here. Sleeping, 12 hours of 12-hour nap. I'm not gonna put it in the camera. I should go crazy. Seems to be the new thing nowadays. All right, so spiritual or soul sellout. There's different ways of looking at that. Like you see that in the music industry. It doesn't always have to be done physically, though. You can do it astrally or spiritually to sell yourself out, which is kind of gross. All things gross. Yeah, because you're pretty much a puppet. But even the spiritual community, which I've mentioned, some of them have sold themselves out. Some of them make it obvious, they even say they have, which is, one of them looks like he's a zombie, like he's brain dead. He brags about how much he makes and everything. Sure. More power to you on that one. So yeah, that, and it has a huge following too. I guess no one notices there's nobody there mentally, but whatever. Tells you how society is not very awake here. It is still might be smart, but still makes a lot of just stupid decisions. Still pretty stupid. But whatever. That's how you learn, I guess. Maybe never learn. So yeah, it's funny how they talk about the Pope and everything being corrupt and all that, but in the spiritual community, it's pretty much the same thing, just coded differently. So whatever. Who cares? Enjoy the show, the bad movie. So the other, but yeah, you can sell astrally now. Some channelers might sell themselves astrally. There's different levels of. Some are just going through some shit. They get a lot of heat for channeling Astral Command and all of that. Some are just going through some inner conflict, just like anyone's going through that secret space program stuff. Some of the secret space programs, some of them have just been through so much trauma in their own lives. Getting into SSP kind of makes sense. Or it's kind of like an escape, sort of. Or there's an escape into hell. I don't know. There's different ways of looking at it. Sometimes some of the stuff they're tapping into is real, and others are just going through their life stuff. And then there's podcasters out there that have a huge following that can't handle reality and manipulate the shit out of everybody. And kind of lie to themselves, or maybe not who they say they are. That's for damn sure. Yep, it is a dumpster fire out there. But some of the channelers that sold themselves out, I don't think even care. They just they get a kick out of it, which is fucked up. It's one thing to sell out, and but some of the sell out just don't give a shit. Just don't care. I mean, they just put on bring in these feline beings and hybrid kids and whatever. They don't give a fuck. They really don't care. And it has a huge following, once again. And then you have to advertise and still people find them. What's that say about the audience? It's like, damn. Walk into the lion's den, huh? They just twirl you around, just eat you up and spit you out, basically. And you just love every minute of it. Here's some drama. Here's some manipulation, and they don't give a fuck. So, and I guess it's competition with me, I guess. I don't really care about It's like a cockroach, basically. I don't care about them, but yeah, it's quite the show out there. So, oh well, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I have a sellout that just does not care. I mean, some sellout and just you can see it kind of decay, and even that one you can see it decay, and because the health and everything and the arrogance. Jeez, damn. So I guess you just just love to screw with society, basically. Get a kick out of it. So, yeah, and people fall for it. So it's like any other religion. So there's that. Lovely, huh? Yeah, they like their job of manipulation. Just don't give a shit. Well, I guess it's if there's enough people out there stupid enough to fall for it, they don't care. And even if their soul kind of is a puppet, I guess they just kind of enjoy the ride. Gives them some kind of sense of purpose, which is so messed up. And society, as usual, is clueless. Might be smart, but still really stupid. So can't fix that. Even the spirit, they can't fix stupid there. That's pretty obvious. Yeah, spirit beings, you can't fix stupid. It's like spirit beings, obviously they don't have a stress. They're dealing with like a 5-year-old mentality, maybe dumber than that. I mean, they might be smart, I guess. Sometimes you wonder, I guess. But they like the maturity of a fucking 2-year-old. That's the spirit world. Not all of them are like that, but quite a few. That's why you come here, they kind of get better, but they're still pretty stupid there. So yeah, it makes you really want to go to when you leave here and go to the astral realms, like holy shit. Is it that bad there? It can be. Hopefully someone there is mentally there. I mean, on your side and not completely fooling themselves. So yeah, they're just oh well, whatever. No, it's perfect, right? So that's why a soul incarnate here to get smarter, because obviously in spirit you can't fix a lot of that. So that's why coming here, a place like this, and obviously being a regular human is the way to be. Like part of the matrix, that's the way to be. Obviously, a lot of us are not part of that. And it sucks. It's better to be like everybody else, sort of. I mean, you bitch about nonsense all day. Then again, you cry about the whole presidential thing and call everyone Hitler or whatever. God, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, whatever. This is something else. So, yeah, maybe the grass isn't green there after all. I guess there's some perks, I guess. I don't have any of those perks, but anyway, if you're a common person at least. Yeah, it's not much. Jeez. Yeah, it's a disaster there too. So anyway, so zombie zombie wars and those that are falling for all this stuff and whatever. Can't do anything about that, but I'd be surprised how many would be taken for a ride. I have no idea. But whatever, I don't know if it comes out in the wash eventually. I don't know about that because religion's been doing this forever. So, whatever. So just get perspectives of a soul sellout energy, how that works, and go into the zombie. Yeah, you just see a lot of that here. Maybe the political zombie and just you have a point you don't like and just call him Hitler and everything's great. Jeez. Yeah, this world's going nowhere. Yeah, just a nice nowhere planet. And then you can't have good spirit and it's all a bunch of 2-year-olds. So, great. It's looking good here. All right, so I haven't taught a comment prep sessions. Schedule here. Yeah, shop here. Anyone's perfect, but yeah, spirit world. I mean, the universe has a lot of issues too. I heard something today, which you go with the flow. And it's true. Is Even if you might not like your incarnation here or any of it or whatever, or tired of the spirit world and how you're around a bunch of 2-year-old monkeys or 0-year-old monkey beings. Yeah. Well, I guess hopefully there's some good intentions there at least. If it's maturity level is not so great. So yeah, there's something else I was gonna say, but yeah, I think I've said enough. Yeah. So yeah, I wonder why people like coming here because of the growth. If it's half-assed or whatever, it's still you come to fine tune yourself, whatever it is. Of course, some of us are here. It's like, yeah, and you get to be here for another 40 years of hopefully it gets better between now and then. If it still stays the same like this, it's like, oh, this isn't going to be anything left of you after this. Jeez. So far, the universe isn't really offering a whole lot because maybe there's just not much to offer here to begin with. And they can only give you so much. If the world has nothing to offer, you're like looking for this better life, but there's really not much here to give you. How can they give you something that's not there? Like people looking for a relationship, but what if there's nothing there? Society's, yeah, it's down. It's whatever. I don't know what it is. It's just half-assed. You want some half-assed being in your life? Not really. No, you can throw that back. So there's nothing to offer. It's like, damn. Yeah. You want to know the truth of that? Yeah. It's pretty empty out there. It's silent. Yeah, it's crickets. Yeah. So anyway, trying to think about too much. You go crazy. So all right, we're going to soul sellout energies, which tap into that, going to a neutral connection with that, and then the spiritual zombie frequency. Is it a war? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some of them obviously have lost the war, or don't even realize they're in one. So that's a tough one. Whatever. Do what you gotta do, right? Who cares? All right, here we go. All right, going to soul sellout energies. All right, here we go. Blessings. Green sea, the energies from astral. Well, soul sellout frequency. It's yes, there's a sacrifice. So they obviously is another part of growth. Maybe not the type that you're looking for, but someone to get a quicker, like it's like taking a shortcut, but they lose a lot of themselves. Some of them want to, now there's different ways of looking at this. Sometimes you can have a handler that can sell you out spiritually, and sometimes you allow it, and sometimes they don't. But you can have like a manager in an incarnation, like a parent that can sell you out. But do you fight it? Do you break free of it? Like you see some child stars break away from their families. And do they realize there's, yes, and there's something their soul had to go through, but then eventually they found the child stars is one way of looking at it. But the soul did agree upon that, but then also it showed it breaking free sometimes. And some go through drugs, or like the Terminator kid in Terminator 2. He went to drugs just to get out of that system, like almost kill himself, basically. Look at it that way. And so it's not what's cracked up to be, as you can see. Your Britney Spears has sold, well, now for her, yeah, it's a complicated one because she did sell herself out, but then she tries to break out, and then someone like her father kind of keeps her in, and then she still tries to break out. It's like she wants to leave it, but then she doesn't. It's like I want out, but not really. And then you have Madonna, who could care less. And that pretty much is like a devil being and enjoying every minute of it. And she is kind of like decaying right in front of you. And as an Anunnaki princess, she just loves the fame and doesn't could care less. But it just, and and she brings out her talent, and that's true. There's a lot of selfish energies, and it does manipulate the younger audience. The younger, the audience. Yeah, and creates. It's kind of like cigarettes. Kind of advertising that. So she's kind of like advertising a crappy lifestyle and loving every minute of it. And her soul, is trapped, and it's not what it's cracked up to be. No. It's like being a spiritual hooker, basically. You can, where all the abuse is there, and she seems to take it, and not even care. But it does wane on you after a while. Yeah, because when you sell yourself out, beings can have control over you and do whatever they want with you. And astral, and sometimes in the physical, it all depends. It's definitely astrally. And think about that. So, do you have, you can't just like be free. It's like, no, beings have a control over you. They can force whatever they want on you. Yes, and some do take it, obviously. Especially in the music industry, you're not seeing the spiritual side of it, obviously. Some just go for it, because they also their sexuality gets manipulated. Like the males wear a dress and so on. It shows you portions of the manipulation. It's like, hey, we can do whatever we want. We can put a dress on you and do whatever we feel like. It's one of course, there's comedians that might dress in drag. Sometimes that is part of the comedy act. But then there are cases where the soul is just basically, they got him. So. Like Dave Chappelle, he escaped, and then some like another version wanted to experience being under control because he's nothing like how he used to be. So there's somebody else there for sure. The other versions, I don't think so, but there was another version of him that was okay with it. It's not the full sellout there. I mean, because it's not that funny. So it's kind of like there's different versions of that too. We're not being tortured in the lower astral by demonic beings. I mean, maybe it's to some level. All the cigarette smoking of Chappelle shows like he's just not in a good state. Of course, he plays it off as being cool when the astral is not so great. To give you some, some of the spiritual channelers that soul, they don't care. To them, this gives them meaning. So, and some just feel like humanity deserves it. If they're going to be that stupid, they don't care. They're just going to take advantage of society. And it's not so great. They kind of make the best of their agreement, but it's not so great there either. Some of them, like, do you even have their, like part of your soul might agree to be sold out, but does all of it. Like there's other parts like I wish I didn't do this. There's another part it's like, but they kind of like justify it and embrace it. But there's other versions of herself. It's like I must be out of my freaking mind. So it's like almost like a soul split there. Like a soul can see how low it can go, and even like split and become another entity, which can't happen. I don't hear about that very often. Obviously, you don't see it here in the physical, but where you have other versions of yourself, like one's dark and one's has issues, but not super dark, will not sell itself out. It's like, I want nothing to do with this and literally break off. That can happen, yes. But your soul signature is still with that other version, though. You can't run away from that. It's still part of you. And you might still feel it. You might still feel some of the sellout frequencies of it. All depends. But it's like you're becoming another being, basically. Which isn't so bad. Britney Spears has not done that. She's not strong enough for that. She's been taken for a ride. It's just she's pretty much let go. How long her soul lasts? Well, it'll last, but not. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Blessings. Brings you the energies from higher astral, neutral connections. So as for the zombie, all humans are. I mean, they can be in a zombie. It depends. It's some are just not aware of how what kind of world they're in. Let's put it that way. It is not fully. They have certain like like points of view or the glass like the lens that what they're looking out of does not see all the corruption yet. It's like, is the world really that messed up? And they're not quite there ready to see it that way. This is why I wonder why societies have dictatorships, like even World War II, the Hitler situation. I'm just figured, and you see copies of that. It's like, why didn't they not see that? But then you live in your current society and you see versions of it still going on. It's like, and some are involved with it and have no, it's like World War II is bad, but what they're involved with is pretty much no different. Well, it doesn't have the same genocidal energies, but still has the same mental manipulation. It's just a different version of it. And you have no idea. So you wonder why they can join World War II and do all that when you look at your modern society and you see pieces of it currently done differently. Yes. So it just that's the soul progression. Yeah, and they might go through that. Obviously, if it's during a war, sometimes they can break free, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. To them, that is where they need to be. And on a spiritual level, some are just, yes, they feel like they are more advanced than they are, but they just don't really understand. They're not seeing the full picture. They're seeing parts of it. So they get pulled into certain groups. You feel like, hey, this is a large group, it should be all right? That's not always the case, as some of you notice. Sometimes the larger the group, usually that's more manipulation. You see that with the organized religions on different, not just the Catholic religion, but other religions, same situation there. But there is some kind of soul, building there for sure. It might be slow. For some, it's extremely slow. And then, just it's like with religion, they, it actually has a lot of soul building energy there. Like they want to become more productive, a better person. They're still under that religious manipulation, but it does get them to be more motivated to, there's a group of people there. So it just takes a soul that's not used to trying and start trying and try to build themselves up to be somebody. So it does have some benefits to it. And you just said, yes, maybe you do it through a cult, but there are some benefits to it. And then eventually it's up to you to break free. But yeah, then where's your soul go? Like if you're part of that spiritual or religious cult, where do you go? Yeah, it's like you might go into the spirit realms, but the spiritual cult energy is still there. It's just in the spirit realms. It's like, yeah, you leave one cult to another. Yes, you can. And sometimes you reincarnate several times to break free of it. So how do I get rid of this? And even then, you might not always notice it because it's still you still see the benefits of it. Yeah, there might be some negatives, yes, but that doesn't mean that you're like trapped in hell or anything like that. Now, for some maybe it is, but not necessarily. It's just they guide you to a certain, there's a lot of mind control built into it. But it doesn't mean that you're being tortured in astral or anything like that. Depends on the situation. If that's your thing, then maybe that happens. Of course, if you have family members like are torturous, then that's that. But it doesn't mean that you're necessarily sold out. No, you're just is a zombie frequency. It can be that way because you're not seeing the full level of it, and it can't kind of be weaponized to the voice systems of like, oh, if someone goes against my leader, I need to attack wherever. It doesn't mean it's like that, but it's just usually it's pretty subdued and calm, usually, sort of. But the galactic spiritual groups, to some of just they like the wow of it. Wow, alien groups, this is so fascinating. Not realizing they're being taken for a ride themselves. So, but it's a roller coaster. It's like, why get off? This is kind of fun. And so they say, you know what? Maybe this isn't working out for me anymore. Which does happen, just not in in a large number. So yeah, it's exciting. So